So today, good morning. Today we learn hydraulics and hydraulics actuators. So these are the some pictures or manipulators of hydraulic manipulators which use hydraulic energy. So this is also another picture of the hydraulic manipulator. It is just one kind of robotic arm. You have seen, learned that there are various sources of powers which can be used as a power source for the manipulator. For example, we can use hydraulic manipulator, and we can use in hydraulic manipulator we use hydraulic energy. In pneumatic manipulator we use pneumatic energy, and in electric manipulators we use electrical energy. These are some pictures of hydraulic manipulators so that you can imagine how the hydraulic manipulators work or how does it look like. So here is a fluid mechanics sensor, the manipulator, then this is the second picture that you see some construction machinery. Normally these operate on hydraulic power. This is also another hydraulic manipulator, picture of the hydraulic manipulator. This is the next manipulator. See, this manipulator can be used for excavation work. This is one kind of, we can call that it kind of one type of manipulator which can be used in the robots or can be used in robotic arm. So this is one kind of robotic arm, and in which hydraulic power is used. So this is a chain, it can travel, and here on this there is a hydraulic power actuated manipulator. This is another diagram. See, this is used for lifting heavy loads. For example, at shipping yard, if we want to lift heavy containers, we have to load the ship or unload the ship. If we have to lift the heavy containers, then hydraulic manipulators are of great use. They have a good power, they can lift heavy loads. This is another diagram or picture of the hydraulic manipulator. So it is used in heavy machinery. This is just a diagram of the hydraulic manipulator arm. You can imagine how heavy it is. This is another robotic arm or hydraulic manipulator arm. See, this hydraulic manipulator, it's a mobile manipulator. It can move and it can then lift. Mostly it is used for lifting purpose. See here how the heavy in the industry packaged box is being lifted using the hydraulic manipulator. This is a substitute to the cranes. For example, normally we use cranes for, there's only a hook and some arrangement, but this is a hydraulic manipulator which can substitute the cranes. It's one kind of crane, but some advanced crane we can call. So this is used to lift the heavy loads. So the picture shows that the hydraulic manipulator is lifting the heavy load. Which is packed in a box. Then this is a section picture. Hydraulic manipulator might be used for lifting the pipes. You can see the person sitting over here and he is operating the hydraulic manipulator. This is the second next hydraulic manipulator of Malwa company. Then this hydraulic manipulator is mounted on the truck and it's a mobile hydraulic manipulator. Hydraulic energy used. This is next picture. This is the mountain of the heavy truck. The hook is there. This hydraulic arm is there. These are also various pictures of hydraulic manipulators. So now you have an idea. See, this hydraulic manipulator is used for excavation work, for digging work in the construction industry, for removing the soil, for taking the trenches, for laying the cables, for constructing the building, for constructing the dams. So, for taking out the soil from the river pond or some agricultural pond, for producing agricultural ponds, these types of hydraulic manipulators are used. You can see here there is a excavator, or there is a breaker, you can say it's called as a breaker. It can break the rocks as well, and so it is used for creating the dam or creating the agricultural ponds. The rate, it is hired by various people. For hiring this machinery, we have to pay around 3,000 rupees per hour. So this is of great, this is used on hydraulic energy. Then the next is, this is a tractor mounted hydraulic manipulator. It can be used for some agricultural purposes. This is second type of manipulator. You can see this is also another tractor mounted. This is a truck mounted. It can be even used for maintenance work in electrical industry, or it can be, here the person can sit inside the small cabin, and this manipulator can be used for maintenance work of the electrical equipment which are at a higher height. For example, if there is a pole mounted lighting system, the poles are at a higher height, for example 25 or 30 feet, then normally what happens, usually the people used to climb on the pole, but nowadays these hydraulic manipulators are used to reach at a particular height. So this is the advantage. It is more safe to the people. Otherwise, earlier, what used to happen is people used to climb on the pole for some maintenance work, or for replacing the lamps, or for cleaning the lamp accessories. But nowadays, these hydraulic manipulators are used. This is the another for transmitting the poles, heavy billets, steel billets. How heavy is it? So it's just used for lifting these heavy billets. And the most important use of hydraulic manipulator is in forging industry. This is a hydraulic manipulator used in forging industry. This is used in forging industry. So you can imagine the temperature. You can imagine can you see this red hot billet used in the forging industry? It is heated, and the axles of various vehicles or tools, agricultural tools, are being manufactured in the forging industry. Axles of the trucks, of the vehicles, four-wheelers, buses. In Pune there is a Bharat Forge company. In that, this is a heavy billet. This is again heated. It is a red hot billet. Person cannot lift it because it is heavy, as well as it is red hot. So this is a very big hydraulic manipulator used in the forging industry. It is lifted and it is forged, and particular these things are made like vehicle axles. They are very strong for manufacturing the tools. So you can imagine that normal human being cannot do this task alone without the help of the hydraulic manipulator. So this is the very important application of the hydraulic manipulator. And this is the next one, hydraulic manipulator arm. You know, this is the link, this is joint. By joint, we have seen that the robotic arm links are joined by the arm. This is the jaw. And these are the, again, hydraulic manipulator mounted on the truck. This is one another kind of hydraulic manipulator, just look like robot. This here there is a different type of actuator, different type of movement, joints, links and joints. We'll see the links and joints, different types of links and joints are used. We are already seeing different types of links and joints. This is a rotating link, and this is another kind of manipulator, hydraulic manipulator. This is a mobile manipulator, just looking like a tractor, one kind of tractor with large wheels. Then this is also another manipulator. Next manipulator, this is a serial manipulator. So now you have imagined, you are seeing the pictures of the manipulator and various applications of the manipulator. So basically, there is hydraulic power is used. So basically, what is hydraulic technology? Hydraulic technology is used in the hydraulic manipulator. It is used in engineering. It is a branch of chemistry. It's a branch of science, and in these mechanical properties of the liquids are used. In the hydraulic manipulator, mechanical properties of the liquids are used, and you know, it's just like a pneumatic. It's a counterpart of the pneumatic, just work just like pneumatic equipments. Fluid mechanics provides, you know, theoretical foundation for the hydraulic. We use in the fluid mechanics. What is the hydraulic foundation? What is hydraulic? We learn in the fluid mechanics, and we have to learn various properties of the fluid. You know, it's incompressible. We have to learn various properties of the fluid. You know, and what are the applications of fluid power applications? I'll just enlarge the things so that you can easily read this. I'll just enlarge circuitry so you can read this now. You know, there are various applications of fluid mechanics, of fluid power. Various applications of fluid power. It is used in generating electricity, for controlling, for the transmission power, and the transmission power. You know, in that pressurized fluids are used. Pressurized fluids are used for transmitting the power, for generation of electricity. Then it's a branch of science basically, and in which we use different pipes, different flow, dam designs, and fluidics. We have to learn fluid mechanics, and we have to learn fluid control circuitry. There is a circuit. There is a fluid control circuit that we have to learn flow of the fluid. Basically, you know, it is just like hydraulics are just like the human body. You know, in the human body also there is a vascular system. There are different tissues. You know, human body also work on different hydraulic principles. Our movement of the hand, it is just kind of one kind of hydraulic system. So there is a surface hydraulic. It is a branch of hydraulics. It is dealing with the free surface. There are flow in that also. That is also a branch of hydraulics. So we have learned what is the hydraulic system. We have to learn the hydraulic system in detail. So even we have to learn the hydraulic machinery. In that, we have to learn various things: hydraulic machinery, hydraulic. How does that hydraulic machinery works? First, before that, we have to learn what is hydraulics. You know, hydraulic Greek word, basically it's a Greek word, and it is being used since so many days. Hydraulic power is being used since so many days. You know, there are various applications of hydraulic engineering. For example, it can be used for hydraulic mining, hydraulic transmission, or you know, there is a hydraulic mining, hydraulic transmission, then hydraulic brakes. These are the various applications. You know, I'll just what are the applications? Hydraulic mining, it can be used for hydraulic mining purpose. Hydraulic mining purpose. Or you know, hydraulic brakes. Hydraulic brakes are there. Hydraulic brakes are being manufactured using hydraulic technology. These are the applications. Or even there are so many applications, but mostly it can be used for hydraulic brakes, hydraulic mining purpose, and even it is used for hydraulic manufacturing, hydraulic mining purpose. So there are various hydraulic machineries which are used, which use hydraulic power. Your heavy construction machineries are used by using some hydraulic technology. So hydraulic machinery is being used. See, this is hydraulic machinery. Hydraulic machinery. So hydraulic machines, they use hydraulic power, and it is used for movement of the things. So heavy construction vehicles are the examples of the hydraulic machinery. There is a hydraulic. The hydraulic systems are just like, it can be a pneumatic system. It is, you know, based on the Pascal's law. We'll just learn one by one. I'll just insert a new slide so that we learn the hydraulics in detail. Hydraulic machinery. So we'll just hydraulic machinery. So I'll just increase the font size so that you can learn it in detail. So cylinders. This is up to hydraulic fluid is pumped and motors and hydraulic. I'll just delete this. Now you can see what is hydraulic machinery. You know, in hydraulic machines, various hydraulic liquids and liquid fluid power is used. In that, liquid fluid power is used, and it is used for heavy construction vehicles. Are the examples of heavy construction fluid, liquids, vehicles. We have just seen various construction machineries. We just saw the pictures of various heavy construction machineries which are used for excavation purpose, used for digging purpose, which for lifting purpose, which for laying the cables, electrical cables. And we saw that they are used for constructing the agriculture dams, agriculture ponds, farm ponds. So in that type of machine, hydraulic fluid is pumped to various hydraulic motors. Hydraulic fluid is used in that. Hydraulic fluid is used and it is pumped to the hydraulic motors, hydraulic cylinders through the machine, and it is pressurized, and it is, it's incompressible. The fluid is controlled directly or automatically by control valves and distributed through the tubes and the lifting action. So the liquid is a incompressible liquid. It is controlled, the fluid is controlled automatically or by using some control valves to the hose pipes or tubes, etc. The hydraulic system is one kind of pneumatic system, and in which the Pascal's law is used. Pascal's law is used, which states that any pressure applied to the fluid inside a closed system will transmit that pressure equally everywhere in all directions. So we have to, what is the Pascal's law? We are learning here Pascal's law. Hydraulic systems are based on the Pascal's law. I'll just put a heading of Pascal's law for hydraulics. Hydraulic system is just like a pneumatic system. It is based on the Pascal's law. And what is Pascal's law? It states that any pressure applied to a fluid inside the closed system will transmit that pressure equally everywhere. Transmit the pressure equally everywhere in all directions. Again, I repeat, what is the Pascal's law? The pressure applied. Which pressure? Pressure applied to the fluid. Where is the fluid? Inside the closed system. Pascal's law states that the pressure applied to the fluid inside the closed system will transmit that pressure equally everywhere in all directions. This is the Pascal's law. So we are learning what is the Pascal's law. Now, hydraulic system uses incompressible liquid. Incompressible liquid. Hydraulic system used incompressible liquid. So we are seeing that hydraulic system use incompressible. Just wait, I'll just highlight the thing, or I don't know how to highlight. So it is incompressible. I will just so hydraulic fluid is an incompressible fluid, and it is used in the hydraulic systems. Now again, we'll just learn the new thing. We have learned what is hydraulic system. We have learned Pascal's law. In hydraulic system, large amount of power can be transmitted. And that's why it's a popular system. In hydraulic system or hydraulic actuators, large amount of power can be transmitted. Why the hydraulic system is so popular? Because we can transmit large amount of power. I just increase the font size here. Okay, so the hydraulic machinery is popular because it can transmit heavy or large amount of power by using the hydraulic principle. It can be transferred by using some tubes and some flexible hoses, and it has a high power density, so that's why it is popular. And it used make there are various forces, and according to Pascal's law, the same pressure is applied because of the according to the Pascal's law, whatever pressure we apply on the fluid, same amount of pressure is applied everywhere and in all directions. So we make use of this power, hydraulic power, and multiplication of the forces can be achieved by applying pressures for relatively larger areas. So, but what is the disadvantage of the hydraulic power is that there is some loss of energy, loss of power due to resistance of the fluid flow in the pipes. There is one loss as compared to gears and shafts is that there is a loss of some power because of the resistance offered by the pipes. So you learn what is hydraulic machinery. We have to learn hydraulic pumps, various control valves, actuators, accumulators, hydraulic fluid, filters, tubes, pipes, and hoses. There's so many things we have to learn. So there are various types of cylinders used in the hydraulic machinery, or your hydraulic pump or hydraulic motors are used, or hydraulic circuit. There is a hydraulic circuit. So what is there in the hydraulic circuit? In the hydraulic circuit, fluid is transmitted in the hydraulic circuit. The fluid now will learn what is hydraulic circuit. So what is hydraulic circuit? So actually it is a flow of, I just enlarge the thing so that you can learn it easily. So I'll just cut up to heavy loads. So what is hydraulic circuit? Or should I increase the font more again? I'll just duplicate the slide. I'll just cut it up to this. For example, this is the amplifiers. So what is hydraulic circuit? Basically, a hydraulic circuit is a system which comprises an interconnected set of discrete components that transport liquid. It's an interconnected set of discrete components which transmit the fluid. What is the use of the fluid? The purpose of the system is to control where the fluid flows in a network of tubes. It's a network of tubes. Fluid flows in a thermodynamic system, or to control the fluid pressure as an hydraulic amplifier, means there is a network of pipes. Now, in hydraulic machinery uses hydraulic circuits in which hydraulic fluid is pushed under the pressure through the hydraulic pumps. The fluid pushed through the hydraulic pumps, hydraulic pipes, a tube,
हेलो
hoses. Hello?
हेलो सर
हाँ बोलो.
सर टीएनपी की मीटिंग चल रही है उधर सर कंपलसरी अटेंड करना
Actually, okay, we'll continue lecture. You can attend. The lecture is being recorded. Okay, the lecture is being recorded. So we'll just continue. So in hydraulic machinery uses hydraulic circuits in which hydraulic fluid is, different types of hydraulic fluids are used which are incompressible. They are pushed and under the pressure through by using hydraulic pumps. It's a network of pipes. Different pipes are used, different tubes and hoses. Hydraulic motors are used. We learn hydraulic motors in detail later. Hydraulic motors are used and hydraulic cylinders are used. Now we are learning what is hydraulic circuit. Hydraulic circuit consists of hydraulic fluid which is pushed under the pressure to the hydraulic by using hydraulic pumps, pipes, tubes, hoses, hydraulic motors, hydraulic cylinders, and so on. So these are the various components of hydraulic circuit. So now you understood what is hydraulic circuit? In the hydraulic circuit, various components are. It's a circuit of hydraulic fluid in which hydraulic fluid is pushed under the pressure by using hydraulic pumps, pipes, tubes, hoses, hydraulic motors, and hydraulic cylinders. Now, I've just again enlarged the thing so that you'll understand in a better way. So, active components, I've just cut up to this linear, is up to linear. So I'll just enlarge this. Now, the approach of describing, if you want to describe the hydraulic fluid system in terms of discrete components, just like electrical system, there is electrical circuit just which consists of various components. Similarly, there is a hydraulic circuit, just like an electric circuit theory. There is a hydraulic circuit, and there are various discrete elements. Then a hydraulic circuit, there are various elements, and hydraulic circuit theory works best when the elements, in the electrical circuit, There is a resistor, capacitor, and the hydraulic circuit. There is a pipe, there is a fluid, there is a valve, there is a hose pipe, etc. So this is also one kind of circuit, and it uses the hydraulic motor, and it uses the hydraulic circuit. It uses the long tubes, some pumps, and some chemical process flow, etc. So now we have learned what is hydraulic circuit. We have learned hydraulic machinery, hydraulic circuit. There's a hydraulic pipe, there's a transmission line, there's active components, hydraulic power pack, that for transmission line, for the transmission of the fluid, hydraulic hoses are used. Then there are passive components like hydraulic cylinder. There are two types of circuits, hydraulic circuits. There is a open loop circuit, open center circuits, and there's a closed center circuits. There's an open loop circuit, and in the open loop circuit, the pump inlet and the motor return are connected to the hydraulic tank. So two types of circuits are there, just open loop circuit and closed loop circuit. In the closed loop circuit, motor return is connected directly to the pump inlet, and to keep up the pressure on the low pressure side, the circuit have a charge pump, generally small gear pump, which supplies the coolant filtered oil to the low pressure side in the closed loop circuit. And what is in the open loop circuit? In the open loop circuit, pump inlet and motor return by directional valve connected to the hydraulic tank. The term loop applies to the feedback. The more correct term is open versus closed circuit. Open center circuits use pumps which supply continuous flow from the tank. So we'll just learn what is open loop circuit, open loop hydraulic circuit. We'll just learn what is open loop hydraulic circuit. After that, we have to learn closed loop hydraulic circuit. So open loop circuit, first of all, we just learn open loop circuit. In the hydraulic, it is a one kind of hydraulic circuit, and just enlarge the size. In the open loop circuit, just a minute. So there are two types of hydraulic circuits. In the open loop circuit, pump inlet and motor return, pump inlet and motor I'll just duplicate the slide. Slide is duplicated. I'll just cut the open loop circuit. Okay, I'll just delete this part, open loop circuit, and from this open loop circuit inlet motor. Okay. Now, what is the open loop circuit? In the open loop pump, inlet and motor return via the directional valve are connected to the hydraulic tank. Basically, there is a hydraulic tank. This is one kind of, we are just learning what are the various types of hydraulic circuits. So, basically, there is a hydraulic tank in the open circuit. The term open loop applies to the feedback. The more correct term is the open versus closed circuit. It's a feedback. Means in the open loop circuit, there is no feedback, just like electrical circuits. Open circuits, open center circuits, they use pumps which use continuous flow. The pumps are used and the tank is there. From the tank, the fluid is taken and they continuously feed the feed the fluid, and the flow is returned to the tank to the control valve open hydraulic circuits. So there is a tank, then in the open loop circuit, when the control valve is centered, it provides an open return path. There is an open return path to the tank, and the fluid is not pumped to the high pressure. So there is two types of circuits, basically open loop circuit and closed loop circuit in the hydraulics. So we just learn the new things again. Just a minute. So we have learned the two types of circuits. Then now we'll learn the new concept of hydraulic cylinder. We have to learn hydraulic cylinder. We have to learn hydraulic motor. So hydraulic cylinder, sometimes it is also called as a linear hydraulic motor. It is a mechanical actuator that is used to give unidirectional flow, unidirectional force through a unidirectional stroke. It has many applications in the construction equipment. So we have to learn what is hydraulic cylinder. There are various applications of hydraulic cylinders. So what is hydraulic cylinder? So hydraulic cylinder, I'll just show you the diagram of the picture of the hydraulic cylinders. First of all, we learn what is hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic cylinder, it is also called as the hydraulic motor. It is one kind of mechanical actuators, and it is used to give the unidirectional flow through a unidirectional stroke. So this is what is the hydraulic cylinder. I'll just show you what is hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic cylinder is one kind of motor. one kind of hydraulic motor. It is one kind of mechanical actuator which is used to give a unidirectional flow through a unidirectional stroke. It is one kind of hydraulic motor and which is used to give a unidirectional force through a unidirectional stroke. And there are various applications of hydraulic cylinders. It is mostly used in construction equipment, in engineering vehicles and manufacturing machines, and in civil engineering. So, what are the applications of the hydraulic cylinder? It is used in the construction equipment, it is used in engineering vehicles, it is used in manufacturing machinery, and in civil engineering work, hydraulic cylinders are used. So, what are the major components of the hydraulic cylinder? There is a cylindrical barrel, there is a cylinder base or cap, there is a cylinder head, piston rod, seal glands, seals, and some other parts, single acting and double acting. So these are the various components of the hydraulic cylinders. We can see the construction of the hydraulic cylinder, various components of the hydraulic cylinder. Various parts of the hydraulic cylinder. What are the various parts? Just wait. These are the hydraulic cylinders, various components of the hydraulic cylinder. So what are the various parts of the hydraulic cylinder? There's a cylindrical barrel, then there's a cylinder base, then there's a cylindrical cap, cylindrical base or cylindrical cap, then cylinder head, then the piston and piston rod, steel gland, seals. So these are the various components of the hydraulic cylinders. Now, how do these hydraulic cylinders work? The hydraulic cylinders get power from the hydraulic fluid. How do they get the power? Hydraulic cylinder, what is the working principle of the hydraulic cylinder? In the hydraulic cylinders, pressurized hydraulic fluid. What is that fluid? Normally, oil is used as a fluid in the hydraulic cylinder. And what are the major components of the hydraulic cylinders? The major components of the hydraulic cylinders are cylindrical cylinder barrel, in which there is a piston, and the piston is connected to the piston rod, and the piston rod moves back and forth just like your IC engine. There is a cylinder barrel, there's a piston, and there's a piston rod, and it moves back and forth. And the cylinder barrel is closed on one end by the cylinder bottom, which is called as the cylinder cap. The cylinder barrel is closed on one end with the help of the cylinder bottom, and it is called as the cylinder bottom cap. The other end of the cylinder head It is also called as the gland, where the piston rod comes out from where the cylinder rod comes out of the cylinder. Means at one end of the cylinder there is a cylinder cap, and on the other end of the cylinder there is a gland, cylinder gland, through which the piston rod comes out of the cylinder. The piston has sliding rings and seals. Piston has sliding rings and seals. And the piston is divided inside the cylinder into two chambers. The piston divides the cylinder into two chambers. When the cylinder is divided into two parts by a piston, the bottom chamber cap end and the piston rod chamber, the rod end. So this is in what is the construction and of the hydraulic cylinder. So we'll just see the construction. We have just seen the construction and the working of the piston cylinder. So this is nothing but the hydraulic cylinder and its parts and where are they located. So we'll just see in detail. We'll just again repeat. Hydraulic cylinder, I'll just increase the font size of the slide so you can easily see. I'll just duplicate the slide, fourth, so that you can easily see these seals. I just duplicate it again. In this, I'll just repeat the seals up to the seals. I will repeat the piston provides seals and okay. Now we'll just repeat the construction. See, the hydraulic cylinders get their power from the pressurized hydraulic fluid. And what is that hydraulic fluid? That hydraulic fluid is nothing but the oil. Hydraulic cylinders get the power from the pressurized hydraulic fluid. And the fluid is oil. The hydraulic cylinder consists of a cylindrical barrel or cylinder barrel, and with the piston is connected, there is a cylinder barrel. In the barrel, there is a piston rod, and which moves back and forth just like an IC engine cylinder. So there is a piston rod, and which moves back and forth. Now, this barrel, cylinder barrel, is closed on the one end of the cylinder bottom. The bottom end, there is a cap. It is closed with the help of the cap. And the other end of the cylinder head is also called as the gland, where the piston rod comes out of the cylinder, and the piston has sliding rings and seals. So the one end of the cylinder, there is a cap which is on the bottom side, and second end of the cylinder, it is on the top side, and from which it is called as the gland in from which the piston rod comes out of the cylinder. In the cylinder, then it has a sliding rings and the seals. Now, the piston divides the cylinder into two chambers, the bottom chamber and the top chamber. The bottom chamber is also called as the capping, and the second is the piston rod chamber. The second chamber is called as the piston rod chamber. So we have seen various things today. We have seen hydraulic manipulators. First of all, we saw various pictures of the hydraulic manipulators, various applications of the manipulator. We have seen that hydraulic manipulators are used in construction machine engineering and agricultural sector for producing the dams, for producing farm ponds, for excavation work, for removing the soil, even for in the industrial purpose. Hydraulic manipulators are used for lifting heavy loads. We have seen various pictures of the hydraulic manipulators. This is a diagram of a hydraulic manipulator which is mounted on the vehicle. There is a chain and it can be used for breaking the rocks. This is another hydraulic manipulator which is used for lifting the containers. So actually the time is running, time is already over. We have to stop the lecture, but we'll just brief that hydraulic manipulators can be used for lifting the heavy load, just like packaged products, or in the forging industry. We have seen the hydraulic machineries and hydraulic manipulators are used for using the forging machines for lifting the forging billets. So we have to stop the lecture. Ankit Aloni, Ankit Kumar Yadav, we have to stop the lecture. Should we stop the lecture? I'll stop the recording. I have to stop the recording. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending the lecture.